Previously on the big game, the magician was all but out of here.
I have 3 queens.
Oh, it's so sick.
But he wasn't ready to disappear quite yet.
Oh my God, I'm staying. I was about to quit.
Barry Greenstein and Rick Rahim stepped up their games.
Came to play, boys.
While the loose cannon, Troy Howard, showed some tricks with his mind.
You look like you're on a busted flush draw to me. I call with queens.
You win.
Good call.
And his mouth.
Double straddle, jump on like a saddle, put my money in there, don't be a baby with a rattle.
Tonight, see if Troy is ready for his close-up against the best in the world on the big game.
Kids, don't try this at home.
This is the PokerStars.com Big Game.
Welcome inside the newest big game in town in Las Vegas. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose, where tonight some of the highest rollers in the world compete for close to $1 million as play continues in our state-of-the-art poker room.
Rick Rahim is a businessman with deep pockets. Playing almost every hand hasn't worked out well for him so far. He's stuck more than 90,000.
Chau Giang has been struggling. He bought in for 200 grand and has added another 100,000 to his stack.
We almost lost Antonio Esfandiari last night. He's had trouble getting things going. He's down 57,000.
A lot of Chau's chips have spilled over to Barry Greenstein's lap. He's been running hot, up almost 190,000.
High-stakes cash game player David Pete, known as Viffer, had another good night. He's up more than 130,000.
And the loose cannon is 29-year-old Troy Howard from Niagara Falls. He's a music engineer and father of 5 who can also rap. So far, he's down almost 23,000. With more on Troy's role on the big game, let's send it over to Amanda Leatherman.
Once again, here are the rules for the loose cannon. Each loose cannon is staked with $100,000 to begin the week. He or she only keeps the money they win over their starting stack. At the end of the first season, the loose cannon who's won the most money will also win an NAPT passport worth $50,000. Now it's time to shuffle up and deal.
Thank you, Amanda. Nadia Magnus has set the benchmark to win that North American Poker Tour passport at more than $63,000 in profits, so that's something Troy has in the back of his mind as we begin play tonight.
Good luck, gents.
Good luck, me. Thanks, me.
Oh yeah, ladies and gents. Excuse me. I forgot you. Didn't mean to forget you there.
No shot of this.
Action folds over to Chow. Pocket pair raised to 1,400. Rick with a pocket pair as well.
The boys waste no time.
I got the hand. I'll show it if he folds.
A re-raise to 3,400.
Rick's also got position.
But you shouldn't believe me.
Troy folds.
Never believe me.
Viffer with big slick.
I only tell the truth. That's why you should never believe me.
Raise.
Announces a raise. There's the call.
This is gonna be fun.
It's the first hand of the night. We've already got a 4-bet. Let's see how much he makes it.
Raises to 12,400.
I'm not believe you, believe him.
Can't raise 10.
Can't raise. Okay. I believe one of them haven't beat.
Chow folds.
82.
Viffer tried to raise for more than the pot. We're pot limit pre-flop here, so we can only raise the 12-4.
I'm pretty sure I was folding either way.
Chow folded a better hand than Rick is thinking about calling with.
And the funny thing is, I would have flopped the set this time. I had a baby pair. I had him beat.
You haven't beat?
Yeah, I had you beat.
Yeah.
Rahim folds.
I'm probably ahead of you, too.
You were.
But you're a better player. I wouldn't know how to play you after the flop. I'd do something dumb and just go all
You
in.
hear that, Chow? He said he wouldn't know how to play him. He's a better player. That's a direct shot at you.
But I have that beat, don't worry.
All right, you guys better start fighting.
I wasn't talking to him. I was talking about him. That's why I folded to him, because he's a better player. I wouldn't know how to play him after the flop. I'd do something dumb. I would just go all in and pray.
So Viffer wins the first pot of the night as we take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. Every player begins with at least 100 grand but can reload for up to $500,000.
Things seem to be getting a little chippy.
Straddle for me this time then. Put 32 in for me then.
Talk to the big stacks,
Oh,
man.
see? That's what I'm saying. See? Don't be scared.
I
Don't
ain't
be scared.
I'm the guy with all the money up
All
here.
right. I guarantee. I bet $100 if I got aces, I'm raising.
King 10 for Howard.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot.
I'm gonna muck him this time, though. I'm gonna do something different.
Folds.
Tight laydown from the loose cannon.
King 9 suited for Barry. In the small blind.
There's a raise.
Raises to 5,200. Antonio folds. Chow pocket jacks.
It's been a straddle and a double straddle, which is why the pot's so big already.
52. Let's go get him.
Chow
If
calls.
you gamble, I gamble. Let's go.
Good luck, Barry.
Barry, this is a lesson in how to go from first to last
Rick calls.
in the instant of a flop.
Nice flat call by Chow with jacks. He's disguising the strength of his hand. He's in position, and he let Moneybags Rahim in.
Ace Jack 7. Chow flops a set. Barry, the first to act, leads out with 9,000.
It's a great flop for Chow. His hand is so strong, he'll want as much action as possible.
Chow smooth calls, and Rick folds.
Again, I like Chow's call. If he had raised, it would have shown a lot of strength, especially with Rick still to act behind. Chow and Barry are old friends, play all the time at Bellagio together. Here they are tangling again.
Barry hits his king on the turn, but he's drawing dead.
Barry may think his king's good since Chow just called the flop.
Barry fires another 20,000.
Chow's trying to decide whether to call or raise. There aren't a lot of hands that have him beat.
Chow just calls.
By just calling, Chow looks weak, and he might be able to get Barry to fire again on the river.
A 9 on the river, a terrible card for Greenstein.
Barry's hand actually improves, which is horrible news for him and great news for Chow.
Barry's gonna fire again. 42,000.
Yeah, I think I gotta quit this game. What is that?
42,000.
I said was 42.
Despite the fact that he's dead in the water, Barry's making an attempt at a value bet.
Kiss money goodbye again, if I have it.
Kiss it hello, Chow. You're a winner.
30. 30. 42. Don't fuck me in a 7.
Chow calls.
Like I said, if your ace is up, it's good.
That's it?
No.
Chow shows the goods.
Listen.
Chow's been running so bad this session that he forgot to consider the fact that he could have maybe even raised there.
I don't know, he's walking like ace king again. I'm happy to win.
A pot of almost 160 grand.
Chow, you won a pot.
I win. That's too quick now.
No, don't quit now.
Of course not. Crazy. I love play poker and I play 2 days. Long I have money, still have money, I will play.
Translation, I think Chow likes winning money.
And loves to play poker.
The big game is just getting going. Much more from Las Vegas coming your way after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, home of the big game. We just saw Chau Giang win a pot of almost 160,000. Rahim straddles, so the loose cannon looking at pocket jacks to start out with.
Troy's turn with jacks. Let's see if he can make him as profitable as Chow did.
Raised to 3,000. Viffer folds. Barry, suited connectors.
Barry, suited connectors, position, loose cannon.
Call.
He's in.
3,000. Of course, I don't think I'm throwing this hand away. I don't think so. I play a little rusty.
I knew you're calling before you looked at your cards.
I'll be calling.
Chow calls with pocket eights.
Any chance I'm folding?
I know chance
No.
for
None?
No. The other two eights were already mucked, so Chow's in rough shape. Rick's the only player holding an overcard to the jacks.
10 tray ace. Goes check, check over to Troy. His jack's still best. fires 6,100. Barry folds.
Let's try to win the second pot.
Wow, look at that.
Troy fires and makes a continuation bet despite the presence of the
that.
ace.
You're halfway there.
Halfway
Halfway to
where?
being over 100.
Right. You want me to straddle so bad, just call me and then muck. And then I'll start straddling.
There you go, straddle.
No, I said I ain't plus yet. See, had you called me and then mucked it, I would have been plus, and then it would have been a straddle. You know, everybody wins.
But we do get the wrap. You win a pot, we get the wrap.
You get the wrap whenever you want it. Nobody said anything, so it's
They
in my
have an
pocket.
expression for guys like that.
What's that?
All bark and no bite.
You think so?
No, I think I just said so.
Yeah, but I managed to call you with queen.
I was bluffing.
That was a little bite, wasn't it? Nip, 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 nip. Mr. Tron shirt, nip, nip. Yeah, don't get it started. All I gotta do is have a hand. Here.
Just all get along.
I was trying. He's attacking me.
I'm not attacking anybody. No. Ooh, temper.
You're the amateur here, buddy.
Temper.
Not me. I'm just not as rich as you.
Temper.
Because I got 5 kids to feed.
This is getting interesting.
I had a big hand. I had at least deuces.
Viffer raises. Barry folds. Antonio
No straddle.
on the button. Calls.
Antonio's not going anywhere with a big suited ace on the button.
Chow folds. Jack 8 for
All
Rick.
right. Why not throw some more money down the drain?
At least he knows his style.
Rick's got 2 starting requirements for his hands. Each card has to be either red or black.
Queen 10 8. 2 clubs.
Rahim's got bottom pair and an inside straight draw.
$3,200.
Rahim fires 3,200. Viffer folds.
Antonio's got second pair, which is the best hand. It's tough to fold anything to Rahim ever.
Antonio calls.
Antonio's looking to collect some of the money Rick's been donating to the game.
The turn. King of spades giving Antonio a royal flush draw.
It's a very interesting card because it gives both players more outs. Rick's got an up and down straight draw now.
Rick, the first to act.
74.
Fires 7,400.
Antonio's trying to decide whether to call and try to hit his hand or semi-bluff with a raise. You might not want to raise this turn because you don't want to get blown off your hand.
74.
74.
Now, we know Antonio is ahead, but even if he thought he were behind, he's got so many outs that he's got plenty of equity against a lot of hands.
Antonio raises to 27-6.
All right, there's a raise.
By raising here, Antonio gives himself all kinds of ways to win this pot. He's also set himself up for a huge river bet if Rick does call and doesn't hit his straight.
I'm beat, but I also have a really good hand, and I just don't know that I can walk away from thinking pot committed. Might be ahead.
Rick's not pot committed. You can see he's not quite thinking on the same level as Antonio. He sees aggression for aggression's sake only.
I mean, I know I'm beat. There's so much money in the pot. This is a bad fold.
He folds.
Rick might be a maniac. We've seen him call off. We've seen him bet, but with only a pair of eights and the wrong odds to draw, it's a fairly obvious fold.
Esfandiari wins a fairly sizable pot.
Thank you, sir. Wisely done.
I can't wait to see what you had.
Surprisingly, that was Antonio's biggest win so far this week. And while he's had trouble getting things started at this table, the party never begins until the magician arrives.
Antonio Esfandiari, they call me the magician. I don't know what you've heard about me in my 20s and whatnot, but I am still the same guy. I would have to say that from 25 to 30, I went as hard as anybody could and should go. I had a really good time. I'm 31 now, and I still don't feel like I've grown up. My brain tries to make better decisions, but I still feel like a kid. So nothing's really changed, it's just different. You have more responsibility, you have bills to pay, and you have work to do.
Speaking of work, Antonio's playing pretty well despite being down 46,000. His PFR is pretty high at 19%, yet he's folding to 3 bets, showing that the Magician is staying disciplined and not allowing frustration to set in.
Viffer straddles, so Barry gets us going this hand and folds. Antonio, 9-7 suited.
King, queen, maybe like.
I might have been very
ace,
live.
jack.
In any event, I missed, so it was a good fold.
Maybe king, jack.
All right, I'm probably going to
But I think
steam
king,
raise
queen
here.
before king, jack.
Just
You
steam
could have
call.
flopped it.
Yeah, jack 9.
Rick calls Antonio's raise.
Rahim announces a steam raise and just calls with a pretty decent hand.
Itty bitty pocket pair for Troy. Calls. Viffer on the straddle.
I call.
Calls.
Viffer's let Antonio have enough of Rick's money. He's tagging back in.
King queen was okay, you know. I mean, then
The flop, 6 jack 10, 2 diamonds.
Rahim has top pair with jacks.
2,000.
Rick leads out, betting 2,000. Troy folds. Viffer with a flush draw.
Viffer's behind, but he has got a lot of outs. He might be thinking about a semi-bluff raise.
No raise, just a call. Antonio folds his gut shot. 10 on the turn.
Rahim still got the best hand with a pair of jacks.
5,000.
Bets 5,000.
10's not a good card for Viffer, but how could he ever fold to Rahim?
He can't. He calls.
Queen high might be good sometimes against Rahim in that spot.
4 of hearts on the river.
Wow. You have my number every time.
Viffer bricks the river. He can only win it with a bluff. Let's see if Rahim opens the door for him to do it.
I bet enough so you know that you can't raise me off the hand.
He doesn't open the door. Bets 15,000.
Rahim's announced his intentions. Let's see if Viffer tries to bluff him off anyway.
I pre-call if you want to raise me. I call in the dark.
All right.
Viffer folds.
Oh. Hey, remember this hand because you're going to hate getting bluffed when you see it on TV.
You got it?
Was it the speech?
No, it had to do with my
It was the
hand.
missed diamond draw, right? More likely. That's all right.
Did you get it first?
I know they got my cards.
So Rick does a little house cleaning with the Viffer's chips. Remember to log on to the website if you want to further analyze all the stats for this table, watch bonus hands, and see footage deemed too hot for TV. Don't go away. We're coming right back after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the big game. Right now, the loose cannon, Troy Howard, is stuck 16K, while Viffer and Barry continue to lead the way. Remember, if Troy can turn a profit after 150 hands, he'll have a decision whether to keep the money or come back and risk it all to play another week.
Nadia Magnus is the leading loose cannon for the NAPT passport at over 63,000 in winnings. Troy's around 80,000 behind her, but all it would take is one double up, and he'd take the lead.
This is hand 94 out of 150. Greenstein straddles, so Esfandiari will act first.
Not the first time.
Antonio looking at the smallest pocket pair you can have. And a raise to 2,000.
Little baby deuces, they're cute.
Chow, pocket sixes, and folds.
Mama always said play the rush. Try to go for 2 in a row.
Rick calls, 5 high. Troy folds. Viffer calls. And Barry calls.
Maybe Chow just knew Barry was going to wake up with 7s.
I won't. I don't.
Maybe he's just telepathic.
Even still, a very tight laydown from Chow.
You're a wise, wise man.
Queen 7-4. Barry flops a set.
Big hand for Barry.
Viffer has a flush draw and checks. Barry checks. Antonio checks. Rahim checks. Another 7 on the turn and quads for Greenstein.
Barry's now going to want as much money going into this pot as possible, no matter what cards come.
Viffer leads out, betting 6 grand.
Barry's happy Viffer's doing the work for him. Even though he doesn't look terribly happy, he is.
That's Barry's happy face.
I think you're versed in mumbling.
And Barry makes the smooth call. Antonio folds. And Rick's out too.
No, you're a gentleman.
By just calling, Barry was hoping Antonio or Rick might come along for the ride.
Jack of clubs on the river.
Viffer dodged a bullet, believe it or not, by not making his hand.
Still leads out, betting 15,000.
Barry's got to make an attempt at a value raise, but we know Viffer can't make the call.
Barry raises to 65 grand and a quick fold.
One last time for the cameras, but yes, Barry, you do have to give him back.
Barry picks up a nice size pot thanks to quads.
I think Barry is playing the best poker he's ever seen.
You're wrong. Not even close. I think if I'd have played well, the game would have been over if I'd have played well.
Oh, just take the compliment, Barry. Barry is one of 3 players to sit down at multiple tables at the big game. Through 245 hands, he's the only one to show a profit. Daniel Negreanu got off to a nice start, but saw his stack fizzle during his second match. Doyle Brunson began the big game in a deep hole, but rebounded to only be stuck 84K.
So basically, Greenstein is very, very good.
Troy's the businessman. He's the loose cannon.
Troy.
Yeah.
Are you going to bust out that new rap or what?
Yeah, let's hear it, Troy.
Oh, I don't got it memorized, but I got it written.
He wrote it down on dinner break.
Yeah, it's and it's nice too.
Do it after this hand, okay?
Yeah, why don't you look? You might want to look at your cards.
Oh yeah,
Barry's only interested in one thing.
The rap's better than these cards, for the record.
Viffer, he's got good cards. Queen Jack. Raises to 5,500.
Oh, here he goes, being a bully again.
It's lucrative to be a bully in poker, just ask Barry.
Barry with another pocket pair. Calls. Antonio folds.
And I got wrong. That's why I had to choose.
Chow's out. Ace-6 for Rick, the double straddler.
Was it 55?
Troy's losing himself in the music and waiting for his moment to own it. He's still going.
I'm going to pot it, whatever it is, the maximum.
God, I love you. I just want to come over there and hug you right now, you know?
23,600?
Re-raised by Rahim, gets Viffer out.
That's about all my stack there, Barry. Charge 20. 22, right? Yeah. I'm all in the dark if you call.
Barry puts Rick all in.
Barry's decided he wants to gamble.
He raised me?
Yeah, raise you all in.
Call.
Rick calls.
I mean, I'm going to fold for the last whatever.
It's serious right now. It's
Huh?
serious right
No,
now.
I misread Barry a little bit. I think he's stronger than I thought. But we'll see.
You want to show the cards, guys?
Ooh. Well, I got overs.
Good luck.
It's a race. Let me win a race. Okay, I read the hand right. I didn't read Barry for calling me, but okay. I got overs. Now I'll show him at the end, but I'm superstitious.
Somehow Rahim's racing, even though he's got a weak ace.
Deal some overs.
Let me
Let's have
hit
a
it.
sweat.
I really thought I had the best hand.
Can I sweat without showing anyone else?
Sure. I'll show it at the end.
Antonio gets a peek at Rick's cards. Barry doesn't know what he's up against. Rick playing for all of his money. Deuce, Jack, deuce.
Okay, as long as those aren't 2 5s. You're still ahead. Do I have heart outs?
Safe flop for Barry so far.
Ace of hearts, just to let you sweat a little bit. Oh, hey.
I know what you got.
The turn.
Heart.
The ace of diamonds.
Oh, you're not dead. You got 2 outs, and you're going to hit it.
He's actually only got 1 out. Chow folded a 5.
This is the best, worst play made on this show, right here. What I just did.
I concur. Just wait till you see the other one.
A queen, and Rick doubles up.
I had overs.
How much you have?
Lucky hand, sir. I'll let her handle that. That's in there, too.
Wait a second.
Give him one of those $5 chips for that watch.
It's 47,000.
Only looking for a heart on the turn.
Again?
I wasn't even thinking about the ace. I was just looking for your runner heart.
Rick scoops up more than 102 grand.
I apologize for the bad play.
No. When you call me over there, Amanda, I'll give it to you. I don't. These guys are serious right now. I don't want to.
I totally agree.
That was a $100,000 pot. I didn't want to interrupt it with the rap, you know.
So Rick doubles up a few dimes, and Troy promises us some rhymes. When we come back, Jack. Welcome back to the big game, where Troy Howard, our loose cannon, who's a music engineer and rapper by day, is about to show off his other skills that he's been promising.
All right, let's hear it. Break it out.
Seat 1, your boy Boog from the north side of Lansing. When I finally re-raise Rick, I'm going to be dancing. With over 100K, but in the meantime, I'm going to wait to min-raise Mr. Barry Greenstein. We saw a beat that was nasty as calamari. Queens beat the aces of Mr. Esfandiari. Rick ain't seen a hand that wasn't worth calling. Soon as I catch a pair, I'm gonna put the dude all in. Me and Chau Giang need to catch a couple hands. Viffer cleaning up like a Swiffer, 300 grand. These are the best in the world, which means I gotta play better, then get plus and have an interview with Amanda Letta.
All right, I'm gonna call Snoop and get you a
No
contract.
wonder you married him.
Love it.
That was good. Real good, Troy. Real good.
While Troy was great with the beats, he's currently in the third seat when it comes to the 4 loose cannons. Whoever finishes #1 when the season is all done gets that NAPT passport you see. Right now, that's Nadia, KGB.
Oh, wow, Chris, that's fantastic. And looking at Troy's play against the previous loose cannons, he's being a little too passive pre-flop compared to Nadia and Will. Raising only 6% shows that he may be intimidated so far, and these guys can smell fear like a stinky cologne. Troy's also just calling a lot of pre-flop raises, showing that he's content to sit back and wait to catch monsters rather than take control of his hands.
The last time Troy turned a profit was hand 8 when he was up $1,700.
You said as soon as you're over 100, you'll agree to a straddle, right? All right.
We up 100 now?
No, he needs
I'm
to
down
win about 20.
17.
Yeah, he needs to win about 20. This is your pot. I think you're getting it right here. And then you'll be in a position to win. You're gonna walk out of here. Here's my prediction. I'm gonna set the line. The line is 37,500. I'll take the over. I think you're doing it. I think you're paying your house off.
Troy, the first to
Swear
act
to
since
God.
Rahim straddled.
That's the line. Anybody want to bet it?
What is it?
I'll take the over. 37.5 he walks with.
How much?
1,000.
You got it.
Right.
Troy raises.
You betting against me,
I'm
huh?
betting on
raising
you.
you.
Hey, bro, who's got your back?
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Barry called. Same with Antonio.
I don't appreciate the disrespect over here.
Ain't no disrespect.
I'm raising you now. What you
Don't
wanna do
talk
with it?
about it,
What you
be
want to do
about
with
it.
it? What you want to do with it?
Don't talk about it, be about
I'm
it.
about to. I just raised them.
Now, sir.
So we're at 21.
You'd rather French kiss a rattlesnake than mess with me.
Nah, that's an absolute lie. I'd rather re-raise you pre-flop.
The straddler's in too.
Only thing stopping you is fear.
And that's a lie. Fear is not stopping me. 7-3 is stopping me.
The flop,
And that ain't
7-8-6, 2 spades. Antonio checks, Rahim checks. Troy checks.
Barry's got top pair.
Bets 5,000. Antonio's out.
Rahim's got a very strong draw. Open-ended straight draw and a flush draw.
Raises to 10 grand. Troy folds. Barry calls.
That was a pretty weak raise, and Rick's reputation precedes him.
Check in the dark.
Rick checked in the dark. 4 of diamonds on the turn.
Barry's picked up the nut flush draw.
And checks. 7 on the river.
Check.
Another check by Rahim.
Barry's probably wondering if there's any value in betting his 8.
Barry bets 15,000.
Okay, flush draw, open-ended straight draw, and I'm not hitting anything tonight.
Wow.
All kinds of stuff out there. Barry still had the stones of value, bet a pair of 8s.
I should have just moved all in on the flop. Then I could have won instead of lost. Would have won less than I lost.
Or Barry could have snap called him and stacked him off.
As it is, Barry wins almost 45 grand.
Well, that's what I've been getting all night. None of them are developing. I mean, unless you're going to flop the nuts, that's the next best thing right there.
I had probably the second best
I
hand
wasn't
I had
talking
all
to you.
night just then. I'm telling you. I thought we was here. See, that's what I'm saying. Now I gotta win the show.
bet.
See?
Can I cancel that? Can I give me a buyout? Give me a $100 buyout?
Troy doesn't like that.
You're gonna hate it when I bust you.
Can't bust me, sir.
No, I can't bust you. You're right. But when I double up through you, let me say, you have, well, 20 hands. I mean, that's enough to double up 20 times. You might not rebuy.
Camel's back, meets straw.
Action folds over to Barry, suited connectors.
I'll tell him. I probably didn't show it.
Raised to 1,500. Antonio, also suited, not connected. Re-raised to 4,200.
Antonio's trying to make a move here.
Chow folds his ace. Rick in the big blind. Also out.
Well, first of all, Antonio should win something just for getting Rick to fold.
Barry calls.
Even though Antonio's 3-betting light, he is the favorite.
Trey 5-6. Barry top 2 pair and checks.
Barry's going to check to the pre-flop aggressor.
Antonio has an up and down straight draw.
Since Antonio re-raised pre-flop, it's going to disguise the fact that he's holding a 4.
Esfandiari bets 7,200.
There's a lot of bad cards that can come. Barry may not want to see another one.
Barry comes over the top to 21 grand.
Total bet 21.
Nice raise from Barry. If Antonio's drawing, he's going to pay for it. And there's a chance if he's holding an overpair, he may stack off with it. Antonio knows he doesn't have the best hand.
So it's
13,800 on top.
It's 15% of his stack to call. Calling is probably not an option for him. To me, this raise from Barry said he's pot committed, so I'm not sure he'd fold if Antonio shoved. Shove or fold appear to be his only 2 options.
There's the shove. And there's the call.
Oops.
Good luck, boys.
Twice? Deal.
Barry refuses to run it twice, and Antonio refuses to show.
This is the one time someone's hoping to be dealt 7 deuce. You can see Antonio's outs. He can also hit running diamonds.
A king on the turn. No help to Antonio.
Antonio's down to just those 7s and deuces, or he'll be felted.
The river card for all of Antonio's dough is a 4, and Barry wins.
Nice hand.
You done?
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Good night, sir.
Next time I see you, I'll have that trick down.
You got it. Good luck, Troy. I hope you punish them all.
Barry is up over $206,000.
And Antonio's out the door.
Good luck, boys. Good luck, sir. Ciao, ciao.
So the magician gets caught with his cape in the trapdoor and performs his final disappearing act a lot sooner than he anticipated. Who will appear in his seat? Find out when we come back. Welcome back to the big game, where Barry Greenstein is up over $206,000 after cleaning out Antonio Esfandiari. The magician has decided to leave after dropping $150K. The loose cannon Troy Howard is down almost 27 grand, but still has 45 hands to make something happen.
Replacing Antonio is 24-year-old Isaac Haxton, who's buying in for $100,000. He graduated Brown University with a degree in computer science and has already made 4 World Series of Poker final tables, but he's still seeking that first bracelet.
Barry's on the straddle.
What's the saying? Sun shines on a dog's ass every
Squirrel
once in a while.
finds a nut.
You guys got all those Texas poker expressions down pat. That's really good.
I thought you'd be proud, Barry.
Yeah. And you got the accent with it.
Almost.
I was going to wear a big 10-gallon hat, but I didn't think it would be credible.
Between the bit of Jewish and the bit of Southern I've got in me, I think I add up to.
As opposed to a small 10-gallon hat.
Rick calls. Ace-queen suited for the cannon.
Time to pump up the volume, Troy.
Raises to 3,200. Viffer folds. The straddler out.
Oh, he's starting to move and groove.
No, I just got a better hand than you.
You just have a better hand than me?
I got it, yeah.
Really?
I think Rick might be getting to Troy.
Plus, I'm like twice the player you'll ever be.
Call. Rick calls.
Strong words from Troy Howard.
The flop. Deuce 4-8.
Check.
Troy checks.
Poor Troy just got outflopped by his nemesis, holding a real piece of cheese.
Rick bets 5,000.
Call with my better hand.
You're a smart man.
Check.
Troy checks in the dark. Ace on the turn. Top pair for Troy. Rick slows down.
Ace scared you?
No, ace made me.
It did?
King on the river.
Yep.
10,000 it made you. Liar. Liar. Now raise me, liar.
If only I could. You got to work on your shtick, though, man. It's a little too uptight.
A little too much?
Yeah, you need to relax a little bit and portray a little more confidence.
Rick folds.
But nice hand.
Troy wins.
I don't know if I showed those to the whole card, to the camera.
Yes, you did.
We got it.
I had him till the turn or the river. I had him to the turn and or the river.
You think so?
It's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
All right.
Rick's under Troy's skin like a splinter.
Pressure's building.
Pressure's on
It's like a
this
steam
hand.
kettle, you know?
I can't let you guys run over me anymore.
Troy would have been better served to say that on Monday's show, I think.
Big slick for the loose cannon. Raised to 1,200. Viffer's in. Barry's out. Pair of ladies for Isaac Haxton.
Mike's thinking about a re-raise.
On the button.
Don't do it. You're too new to the game. Settle in first.
He's not heeding Rick's warning.
Careful.
Re-raise to 4,800.
Damn.
Chow's out.
I so want to call you with these cards.
But Rick wisely folds.
Ace-king for Troy. This may be the hand for him.
He calls, and Viffer folds.
Troy's opted to see a flop rather than try to jam this pot. Chow folded an ace, so ace-king's a bit more of a dog than usual.
2 to the flop.
Carefully studying Isaac Haxton.
Jack, Queen, 4. Haxton is flop top set.
This is not the hand for Troy to start playing aggressively.
He checks.
Ike is new to the table. He's got the nuts, trying to figure out the best way to get money out of Troy.
Bet 6,800.
Ike's hoping Troy's hand is big enough that he can call.
Why you look so nervous?
Not the greatest of reads. If Ike's nervous, he's nervous you're going to fold. Troy said he was going to stop these guys from running him over. He's running low on hand, so he's taking a little extra time with this one. If Troy's reading nerves and decides now it's time to take a stand, this could get pretty ugly for him.
Your eyes blink, sir. You got a set, don't you?
What?
Wow. That was impressive.
That was a soul read.
My eyes blinked? It's pretty good.
Troy's going to get to write his own chapter in the next version of Caro's Book of Tells.
He definitely avoided disaster.
See, if you don't wear sunglasses to play.
Yeah, I know. I flop top set and get no money because I didn't wear my sunglasses.
That seat's already been kinder to Ike than it was to Antonio.
Did you have a set? Are you lying?
Of course I didn't have a set.
Of course
Hard to make a set.
Welcome back to the big game. We've reached hand 111 out of 150.
I just had ace-king.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did have ace-king. I had ace-king.
Oh, you didn't check.
Bet $1,000 then.
You can't, remember? You can't. You're not allowed
That's
to.
what I'm saying. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Viffer straddles. Action on Barry.
Right, exactly.
Folds.
You don't think I had ace-king, huh?
Jack 10 suited.
Not at all.
All right. That's why you're the pro.
Apparently.
No, he's the rookie.
Oh.
Can't be both? 14. Oh, there's a straddle. Okay, so it's 16.
Ike raises to 1,600.
You know, even Derek Jeter was a rookie once.
What'd he ever do? Rahim calls. Troy, suited one gapper, also calls.
I wish you would have made a normal raise. I wouldn't call with this hand.
Viffer does call.
All part of my plan.
Because I figured you guys were coming in, and he really didn't want 3 players in there.
8 tray 10.
3 people hit that case 8. Troy hit top 2 pair. Out of 4 players, Rick's pair is 3rd best.
He's first to act. Rahim bets 5,000.
What's Troy gonna do with top 2?
Raises to 20 grand. Viffer folds.
How much more do you have?
This is a good defensive raise from Troy. It might be a bit big for getting any action, but there are a lot of bad cards that can come.
And you got it.
Haxton folds.
I'm convinced that I probably have the best hand, and that this is you needing to start make moves, but I'm gonna fold. On the off chance I'm wrong. I think this is loose cannon action here.
Howard picks up a nice size pot.
The heat is on.
The heat is on. 7 deuce, man. You got to read on me every time.
That wasn't a loose cannon move. In the last 37 hands, Troy's VPIP is still about the same, but the stats show he's playing differently after the flop. Howard's C-bet shows that he's betting less after being the pre-flop aggressor, and his aggro factor is way down as well. We keep telling him to be aggressive, and he gets less aggressive. He makes money in spite of this. How much more could he have made had he been more aggressive? We'll never know.
Speaking of aggressive, Barry Greenstein straddles this hand. Action folds around to Rick Rahim on the button. Folds. Troy, pocket pair in the small blind.
This will be an opportune time to get aggressive.
You haven't let me get away with this all day, Barry.
Troy raises to 2,700.
Yeah, but you haven't given me that speech all day.
Right. That's what the speech is for. He let me get away with it and worked out.
The loose cannon has awoken, boys.
The loose cannon takes down back-to-back pots to pull even closer to positive. Barry Greenstein won some huge pots to put him up over 200 grand. And Viffer, who was up almost 150K at one point, has slipped below 6 figures in profits.
The loose cannon hasn't been positive since hand number 8 when he was up 1,700, but at this point, he's not down very much.
And that'll wrap it up for tonight. Looks like a fire's been lit under our loose cannon, but is it too late? He's got one more night to get above 100K and win some money. Will he get there? We'll find out tomorrow. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now, and remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. See you next time.
For Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Are you gonna make it?
Yes, he's gonna double me up. I got him all set up. Yeah.
I thought you were wanting him to double you up.
He don't want to double me up. He does. He wants to play against me, and that's gonna double me up. That's it.
You play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
Right.
I'm always pulling for the loose cannon.